Hello and welcome to our special Africa Cup of Nations show here on France 24. All 24 teams have now played their group stage openers. We'll be discussing it all with Eurosport journalist Ruben Slagter in the studio with me here, and we'll also be joining to our correspondent Justice Baidoo in Ivory Coast. Let's get started with those last two group games in Group F, and let's kick off first with Morocco, who got their campaign off to a flying start as they beat 10-man Tanzania 3-0, even in their Group F opener. After a quiet start, the Atlas Lions went ahead on the hour mark after Ruben Slagter followed up on Hakim Ziyech's free kick. Azazine Youani doubled their lead in the 77th minute before Youssef and Esri got converted a cross by Ashraf Hakimi to top off the victory. For more, let's cross to our correspondent Justice Baidoo in Abidjan. Justice, a convincing opening performance from Morocco, who obviously came into this competition as one of the big favourites.
Definitely one of the big favorites for this tournament. They haven't won it since 1976. But if you look at the heroics at the last World Cup, being the first African country to make it to the semi-final, they definitely set a very high standard for themselves. And coming to this African Cup, obviously coming in as one of the favorites and looking to end their trophy drought. This was definitely a flying start. It was not a competitive game at all. Tanzania didn't create any chances at all. The Moroccans dominated from start to finish. I mean, you can speak about the red card that went out to the Tanzanian team, which meant that they played more than half of the time with 10 men. But really, even before they had the red card, they had failed to make any real impact, hadn't created any chances at all. The Moroccans could well have won by up to 5 goals, but they ended up scoring 3. The star-studded team, they played, really like a very compact team and created a lot of decent chances. I think that they really would be going all the way in this tournament.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but in any case, a very good start for the Atlas Lions. Thank you, Justice. We'll be crossing back to you later on in the show. Let's go to Ruben in the studio. It was a convincing win for Morocco, though it has to be said that they were up against weak opponents, though this will take some of the pressure off them. They've been one of the most talked about teams coming to this tournament.
Yeah, and you still have to win your first game. They did it in a good style. It wasn't that impressive, but okay, if you even win a game 3-0, without being that impressive, that gives you even more confidence, I think. We were curious how they would play now they are the favorites. I mean, that whole run in the World Cup was also because they were the underdogs and because they were so strong in being a strong opponent and reacting to the opponents. Now they had to make their own game, and that's what they did pretty well, I think. It was really important to score that first goal with Ruben Slagter as a symbol, as a captain, to score that first one. You can just see that there's so much quality in this team, and with them and Senegal, that they are above the others, especially because there's quality in every line of the squad. They're strong in attack, good defenders, a lot of creativity in midfield, and a fantastic goalkeeper. So yeah, they are clearly one of the big favourites.
You mentioned it, obviously, that they were underdogs at the World Cup. They were particularly well known for that defence, getting so many clean sheets against the like of Belgium, Croatia, Spain, Portugal. Are we seeing maybe a different way of play here now they're in Ivory Coast?
It was already different because today they had a lot more possession, for example, and you can see that there's a lot of technical ability, especially in midfield with players like Ziyech, like Unai. But we saw them already in the World Cup. It's only then that you have an opponent that is also technically very strong. So it's not that easy to control all the games. Also, El Neziri is, for games like today, is a really useful striker because he's controlling the balls. He's strong with his head. He's a really tough striker. So yeah, they have a real complete team, and they especially in this group, I think they are quite confident to go out from there as the winners. And then it's just a few games to the final.
just a few games to the final, though. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, they've not won an AFCON in a long while, but definitely up there with the big favourites for now. Let's move on to the other group, the game in Group F. It was the late kickoff between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia, which finished 1-apiece. Zambia featuring at AFCON for the first time since 2015. Ruben, was it a question of DR Congo regretting missed opportunities this evening to get 3 points? Will they have any regrets?
They will. They were the only team that deserved to win in this game. But yeah, they only scored one goal, a beautiful goal, it has to be said. And Zambia, they had one chance and they scored it. A very clever, quick throw-in from Patsandaka and Kings Kangwa. He scored from outside of the box. But yeah, after this game, there was only one team that deserved to win. It was DR Congo. They maybe both at some point were also a bit thinking that with a point and a game with Tanzania still to come, if you win that one, you have 4 points and normally you will be through. So, okay, I also didn't feel the real necessity to take all the risks, especially from the DR Congo side. Zambia were already happy with a point from the start, I think. But yeah, okay, it was not the most exciting game of the tournament. We have to be honest.
No, that's. I think we'll end it there, shall we, on that one? But let's now take a look ahead to Thursday, because we've got two very big games to be looking forward to. Equatorial Guinea will be facing Guinea-Bissau. Ivory Coast, the hosts, are taking on Nigeria. The Elephants won their opener against Guinea-Bissau 2-0 in a good start to their campaign for a third title they're hoping for on home turf. The Super Eagles have some catching up to do. That's Nigeria, because they were held to a 1-1 draw against Equatorial Guinea. Egypt will be taking on Ghana in a must-win game for both teams in Group B. A late penalty by Mohamed Salah spared the Pharaohs blushes against Mozambique. That game ended in a 2-2 draw. Ruben, let's delve into this now. No, even, sorry, I'm going to go back to the Ivory Coast. We've got Justice in Abidjan. Justice, the Elephants will be looking to clinch early qualification in the round of 16 with a win, they would hope, tomorrow.
They will definitely hope. It's a cracker of a game. And here in Abidjan, a city that has a huge population of Nigerians, a lot of people have been talking about this game, readying themselves for this big one that is happening tomorrow. For Nigeria, definitely a must win. A lot of people have been speaking about the amount of talent in this particular Nigerian team. And yet, it has been very difficult for them to be able to click and find that winning rhythm. They are hoping that they would be able to find that tomorrow. Unfortunately, it is against this very, very good Ivorian team that also has huge expectations on their shoulder, being host nations, having won their first game, everybody expecting that they are able to win tomorrow to almost guarantee themselves a place in the next stage of this competition. It's a big talking point for many people around here. The other game, Ghana, Egypt, definitely a cracker. Our team has been working from the hotel that Egypt is staying and goes out to train. It's big expectation tomorrow. Every morning we wake up, there's a huge numbers here at the hotel. Everybody waiting to even just take photos with the big stars in this team. And tomorrow, many people have been speaking about wanting to go to the stadium and catch a feel of this game. Ghana definitely going into this as underdogs. Many things happening in the Ghanaian comes to issues with supporters who have come in, have been complaining about the treatment that they've had. There was a near confrontation between a fan from the Ghanaian side and the Ghanaian coach, Chris Hughton, after that abysmal performance in their opening game against Cape Verde. And so tomorrow, there's a huge pressure on Ghana to try and win this game, a game that definitely they really would be struggling to match up to the quality and the talent that Egypt has. But definitely something to look out for tomorrow.
Two big AFCON giants are under pressure in Ivory Coast. And feeding back to the Ivory Coast, they will be hoping for a full stadium tomorrow to cheer them on. But that wasn't the case, was it, Justice, for their opening game? There's been some issues regarding tickets. You spoke to some frustrated fans earlier today trying to get their hands on tickets. What exactly is going on?
Les gars, ils ont ticket, puis ils ne veulent pas nous vendre. Ils ne veulent pas nous vendre. Ils ne veulent pas nous vendre ticket. On ne sait pas pourquoi. Depuis on est là. Ils ne veulent pas nous vendre ticket. Donc on nous dit pourquoi.
We're even prepared to sleep here to get these tickets, if that's what it takes to get to the stadium.
Il y a plusieurs causes.
There are many reasons for this. Some say it's the ticket touts. Others say that they haven't really put all the tickets on sale. Some also say that there are companies that have paid but haven't really honoured their commitments.
So, Justice still with us? Some angry fans there in Ivory Coast that our correspondent Justice Baidoo spoke to earlier on regarding tickets. Justice, could you tell us a bit more about what's going on exactly with ticket problems?
So initially we were told that the tickets had officially been sold out because people were supposed to go online and buy them on the CAF website. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was that there were people who had bought off the tickets hoping to sell them at higher prices when the games began, and then people ended up not buying them. The opening game was played in a 60,000 capacity stadium. Less than 40,000 people turned up for that game. There's been matches played in stadiums that has 20,000 capacity, that has only 8,000 people eventually turning up. There's been a huge frustration with people getting access to tickets. Nobody really knows what exactly is happening. So this week, what has happened, organizers have now tried to move the process from online and then have designated places where people can go in and buy physical tickets. That too hasn't been very smooth because there's so many people and very few places where they could get these tickets. And there are long queues, long winding queues as late as 5, 6 p.m. this evening. There were people still queuing up trying to lay their hands on tickets for tomorrow's games. It's really, really frustrating, but hopefully people expect that this will change and attendance at games would improve tomorrow, seeing those big games that are happening tomorrow.
Let's hope that's the case because, yes, it's always nice to see the home crowd cheered on by their fans. Thank you, Justice Baidoo in Ivory Coast. For us, I'm going to move on now to that other big game we've been talking about, Egypt, Ghana. Ruben, they've both had rather frustrating starts at AFCON. They both failed to get wins. The pressure's really on. They have 11 titles between them. What are we thinking here? Are Egypt looking a bit too dependent on Mo Salah? What was their issue in their opening game? They scraped.
It was also a very brave Mozambique side and also a very brave Cape Verde side against Ghana, of course. So, but I didn't think that Egypt was playing that badly. To be fair, I mean it's a strong team. The only thing that will worry them is that during those counterattacks, we saw that when Egypt behind the defense, it's not the fastest part of the team. Let's say it this way. So yeah, for example, in Cameroon, the last tournament, they came that far because they were defending as a team, and then they knew that Mo Salah would do something brilliant, and then they would go through or whatever with penalties. So it was boring to watch, but it worked out pretty well. Now they play more exciting football, in my opinion. But it's also more risky because, their defense is maybe not that strong, playing that far away from their own goal. That's a risk. Tomorrow, to be fair, and just as already said, the pressure is more on Ghana because if they lose this game, they're probably out of the tournament, and that would be a big shame for such a big football country, of course.
It would, but it wouldn't be the first time in recent history for them not doing so well at recent AFCONs. That is the first round of group games over. If I've counted correctly, that's 27 goals. Just to finish, Ruben, what are your main takeaways from the first round of group stage games?
It was really exciting. I mean, we have seen so many great games. Okay, today was not the the best night. We have to be honest, but so many underdogs, the so-called underdogs, having fantastic games. We can talk about Mozambique, we can talk about Namibia, Cape Verde, but yeah, so many great games. So that was already a huge positive. I also want to underline, I know it's not a really popular subject, but in general, the refereeing has also been pretty good. And I remember that it is because 2 years ago, we were sitting here with referees blowing off too early for a game and all this kind of stuff. And we were talking a lot about stuff happening next to the pitch. Okay, tonight we have the tickets, but in general, I think it's going quite smoothly. And also because of the organization and on the pitch, it's going pretty well. So that's a huge positive point. And now, yeah, it's now all heating up for this famous second round where there will be a lot of big clashes between the traditional big African football countries like Egypt to Ghana, but we will also have Senegal against Cameroon. And in the end, there will also be DR Congo against Morocco, for example. Yeah, it will be a fantastic play day. And let's hope that they all try to win again, because I'm a little bit afraid for tomorrow, to be fair, that Ivory Coast and Nigeria, and because they will already know the result from the match between the two Guineas, that maybe they will say, okay, with a draw, it could suit us both well. That would be a pity, but okay. Maybe Ivory Coast, because they play at home, they will want to win everything. I hope so, because they also have a fantastic team.
And is it safe to say after this first round of group stage games that Senegal and Morocco are a bit in their own league right now? Maybe that's a bit strong to say. They
say they are the huge favorites. I think that the other teams, we can call them pretenders, and especially because I already said it about Morocco and for Senegal, it's the same. They're complete teams. There's no weak spots in these teams. They are in every line. They're strong. And in all the other teams, you can still ask some questions. We're not going to do it for all the teams, but I think that those two teams are just the most complete teams. They also have strong benches, so if there will be an injury or whatever, there are other strong players who can come on. So yeah, they are the favorites, but okay, what have we all seen already with all those famous favorites losing their games? So
I'm sure there's still a fair few surprises to come. That's all we have time for this evening. Thank you to Ruben here in the studio with me, and thank you to Justice in Ivory Coast, and thank you for watching. You can tune in at the same time, 11 Paris time, for all the latest from the Africa Cup of Nations. Goodbye for now.